Howdy.
Howdy, Frickleyers. So what you are about to watch is actually part 2 of a 2-part interview that I did with Gavin Oxley about Black Shadow. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, it will be in the description in a link, so make sure you check that out first. But if you have seen that part, then please enjoy the video.
I'm surprised you don't ask me about the Joker card yet.
I was just gonna wait because I'm pacing the questions out. But yeah, so what inspired the Joker card element?
So I wanted him to have something that was kind of like a mystery about him, like some sort of item. So, you know, like in, like, I don't know, say the Avengers or something, you got stuff like the Tesseract, and then like in certain Transformers films, you got like the Cube and whatever, the Allspark, whatever. I wanted something that was like a mystery source of Black Shadow. I didn't have access to a cooler prop, and that was a combination of fact that I was struggling for ideas. So I just went, let's just use a Joker card.
Yeah, that's fair.
And this Joker card's obviously going to be something that's essential to Black Shadow as a character. And I was going to explain this better in the sequel film, which obviously didn't really get finished.
Right.
Something's not right here.
Okay, this is interesting. So, as we saw Black Shadow then, we didn't actually see him teleport away. We have yet to see him teleport yet.
Okay, right. So you were saving that.
Yeah, I was saving that till later on. I was teasing it until later on. We haven't seen him teleport yet.
While we've got it paused, I'll ask you quick. What inspired the costume for Black Shadow? Because I think that's one of the funnier elements of it. I think is that he's wearing a Gears of War shirt and he's just got tracky bottoms on, which is just really funny because he's supposed to be like a demon or an alien or something.
Supposed to be a supernatural, you know,
alien,
more or less.
And he's just, where it just like it has a skull on it, and you thought,
yeah, if I remember rightly, I think that's a combination of fact that A, we were lazy, and B, we didn't have access to much, costumes and stuff at the college, because obviously it was a college project. For some reason back then, neither of us decided to go out and actually buy anything for him to wear as a costume. So just went, what's the most, like, I don't know, sinister or evil, or I don't know, most blackest thing you've got, sort of thing, in terms of clothing wise? And he just said, I've got this Gears of War t-shirt. Looked at it and I thought,
yeah, I can imagine at the time being like, yeah, fuck it.
Okay,
kicked it all off. The decision to include the thing of Frickley Country Park, I think that's what made it so everybody started filming in Frickley Park, because of that shot of you naming the location that the second half of the film takes place in. I think if you didn't do that, I wouldn't have been as bothered about filming in Frickley Park.
No,
but it's just so funny that it's just...
That's what makes the location iconic, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's funny that you establish that we're there, because you don't need to establish that you're in Frickley Park, which I think is what makes it funnier that you've done that.
You don't need to establish that. Most people watching it will obviously know, well, everyone who's watching will know where it is.
My next project has Frickley in the name, and we want that to be a really big, high-budget project. And the reason we're calling it something to do with Frickley is probably because of that shot that you chose to include. So, like, it's just funny how much that has had an impact on the rest of the films.
Yeah, no, I chose Frickley because, I just thought, as a location for filming, I think it's got everything, really.
There's a lot of variety, and it's quite beautiful as well.
It is, especially when our filming is, what was it, about April, May time.
Exactly.
So it'll be summer. It was wonderful.
Now there's a scene coming up, and we'll watch it all the way through, and then I'll pause it at the end, and we'll discuss it. And I think you know what scene I'm talking about. It's the bench scene. Yeah. Because we need to talk about that, because I think
we do.
Yeah.
We do. Don't see if I could throw this into my mouth. Watch this. Yeah. Oh my god, that gay guy. I can't. Gay. Oh yes! Wait! So what are you doing next week then? Next week. I plan to finish.
Right, so obviously we need to talk about that scene.
Oh wow!
So arguably one of the most famous scenes in Black Shadow.
Two people who have no chemistry put together with no dialogue.
Yeah, so it's the most obviously improvised scene ever.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Because neither of them are very good at improv.
I know you touched on it earlier on when you said that was thought process of having those two play those characters. But with dialogue, and a plot behind it, they'll be all right. But when you actually get to improvise, that was when you kind of realised, shit,
Yeah.
this is a bit of a big problem.
Because that scene, I think, and it's saying something, that scene is considered the worst scene in Black Shadow.
Well, yeah.
Because it comes along. Sometimes when I'm watching Black Shadow with people, we'll be laughing, and then before that scene comes up, about 5 seconds before, I'll say, beware, because the scene's coming up and it is bad. There's a bit of light homophobia in there. Aaron just calls Callum gay for no reason at all.
Like with the other shots, you can say, "Oh, it's kind of a bit funny and what have you," sort of things. Like, this is not funny and it doesn't make sense. This scene, you watch that, is really hard to watch. It really is. You're there thinking, "Oh God, why is this even used?" I remember filming it, I was thinking, God, this is awkward. I think it was one take and it was like, right, okay, let's move on to the next bit, because I didn't think I was going to actually include that in, but for some reason I ended up
it's fine. There it is. Oh God, this is surely the Lucasade Sport Bottle.
It is.
Yeah, because so many people, but you'd think, because so many people think that Joe's actually pissing here.
Really? Oh, right.
Yeah. It's like a popular thing of like, did they actually get him to piss? I'm like, no! Of course they didn't. That'd be so weird. He also falls in that exact area, so like...
Indeed I am. And you will fall if you don't leave this place.
Come here, fucker!
That scene in general was like, Black Shadow having the first confrontation with Santiago and Diego. And I'm trying to remember now what the thought process behind of actually the dialogue.
We're going to ask. So he says a lot of things that are very vague, but also very specific. Like he says, you will fall if you don't leave this place. But what's funny about that is, at the end, Aaron, they're trying to leave, and Black Shadow is trying to stop them. So it's like, in the end, Aaron escapes, Diego escapes, but Black Shadow still kills him. So I'm thinking, did you have a plan for that dialogue, or did you go, this sounds menacing, let's have him say it?
That's pretty much what I went with, really.
Yeah.
So what are you doing later?
I like how Joe's just been stabbed and he just goes, so what are you doing later? It makes me laugh so much.
So what are you doing later?
These two, that's just more improvisation, clearly. What was the plan with bringing Joe back? Did you plan on killing him there in the other scene?
I'm sure I must have gone over it a few times and it must have changed in mind. I'm sure I originally had, Joe's character was going to pretty much get killed there and then. But then I think I realised now filming it, I thought, it's just Aaron now. It's just Aaron's character.
Yeah. Because he doesn't live that much longer anyway.
No, it doesn't.
Really?
It doesn't.
No, so
Yeah, that was another bizarre one that's going to raise a lot of questions, which I have no answers for. There we go. So that's the first example of Black Shadow teleporting.
There we go. Wow.
Tesla behind you!
Where? So was that planned?
No.
The where? Or was that just Joe improvising?
Joe was pretty much improvising there. Look right behind you was part of the dialogue.
Well, props to Joe, because he created probably one of the most iconic lines in the entire Black Shadow.
Iconic lines.
Behind you, where is such a brilliant back and forth moment. Joe's character's last line before dying as well is him not understanding what behind you means. This shot's genuinely quite a good one.
This. I remember taking time to actually get that shot.
This is
I
probably
got laid down on my knees and everything, and proper made sure I lined this up and what have you.
There are actually a few decent shots in this film, and this is one of them.
Some accidental good shots, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that shot.
Another good shot.
I think you could tell this is where the bit that I enjoyed the most when I was behind the camera. I was enjoying the most in terms of I want to get a really good artistic shot here. Do you know what I mean?
This is a good one, and I like the black and white used. This pylon shot is one of the funniest shots in the film, and it's so subtly funny to me because you pan down from this pylon, and it starts out as a really good shot, and you go, ooh, he's panning down. What's it going to pan down to? And then there's nothing there, and it just cuts away. And it's so funny because it's so pointless. There's no reason for this pylon shot. It's just hilarious.
That is so pointless. I think the whole thought process was behind this, if I remember now, is electricity and whatever, like, if you get electrocuted, it symbolises death. That's literally the only reason why I think I actually
that is a tenuous link as well. It would have been great if Aaron were walking along at the bottom.
But he wasn't, was he? And
no one was there.
It would have made a great film poster as well and everything.
That said, we lose our hero at the end.
I think the whole idea I went with this one is I didn't want like the hero to like be the one who survives at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And the villain gets killed, or you don't see him until the next film, what have you. I thought I want it to be more brutal in terms of how it ended. I didn't want it to be like a fairy tale ending sort of thing, which is not going to be in this type of thriller short film.
No,
anyway.
yeah.
But also I did it because I wanted to set up a sequel. So that was one of the reasons why.
Yeah. So who did the voice?
Who did the voice? I did it, and I kind of like did. Yeah, exactly. Bad move. I remember when I initially recorded it, I got Jake to say "I rise, you fall," and it just didn't sound like as though a villain would. Have that emphasis of a villain the way he said it, and I started to think, I'll do a voiceover. But rather than like doing something a bit more creative with a voiceover, for some reason I decided I'll do one and I'll try and get where I'll edit the tone of what I'm saying and try and make it sound a bit more deeper or whatever. But then it ends up sounding really, really bad, considering that it's slightly out of sync with what he's actually saying.
It is.
I just thought, fuck it, just leave it with that. So
yeah.
I think at that point I kind of noticed some of the many errors in the actual film itself, so I just thought, do you know what, it's not around me anymore if I had this in there. So I think that's why it's one of the less egregious things in the film, to be honest. I think after 10 seconds in, when you put that tombstone in, I think there was nothing else you could do wrong, really. So technically you also cameo in Black Shadow. Technically speaking,
it's not just Callum Stringfellow who has a cameo.
A cameo of him being like the gay person, apparently.
Apparently a gay person. We don't know for certain because
nothing's
there's no way that Diego would know that he's gay.
No, just a random pedestrian walking across.
Just Diego calls gay for no reason.
Gay?
Yeah, why is he calling gay? What a walking in this film.
There is a lot of walking. That does kind of get addressed in the other projects that come afterwards.
I think we started parodying the walking a lot. One of the things we always tried to do was every time one of these films ends, it ends usually with a character walking off into the distance.
Yeah, it does usually.
Yeah, I think 9 times out of 10. Last Shot ends that way. Orange Man ends that way. Black Shadow ends that way. Does Infinite Squadron end that way?
I think it.
Yeah, it does because Jordan Hazlehurst is walking off.
Cemetery is walking off.
Yeah.
Cemetery.
Fruby ends that way. In A Fistful of Frickley, you get a semi version because it does end with the back of Jake Cutts as he falls and dies. There's only one question I really want to ask you now at the end of all this, and that is, what is Black Shadow supposed to be?
Black Shadow is supposed to be some supernatural alien killer, basically. It's kind of a cross between Predator and the Terminator. And obviously you got Alien as well. So it's kind of a combination of all three of them. If I remember rightly, when I was filming this, I had like an idea of what I wanted him to be. But when it came to like going to create a sequel, I actually wanted to develop more about his character, his history, as to who he actually is and why he's a supernatural alien killer. I was thinking that was going to be several other supernatural phenomenons like Black Shadow out there coming from the same like galaxy that he came from. So it wasn't just going to be like it's Black Shadow, that's it, there's no one else. There's going to be other people like supernatural aliens like Black Shadow that was going to come into it.
All these years I've watched Black Shadow, I think I've always been like, what is Black Shadow supposed to be? Is it an alien? Is he a ghost? Is he a demon? You know, there we go.
It's obvious we didn't have the budget to have any CGI or any like.
No, you have a little bit in the second one, but
a little bit. No, but I've enjoyed that. It's been a right laugh.
Yeah, it has been. Okay, so thank you for watching, everybody. This has been my exclusive interview with director of Black Shadow, Gavin Oxley. There'll be a few more of these with other directors of Frickley Classics, so keep an eye out on the channel and on the Instagram. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and follow our socials. So thank you very much for watching. Adios.
See you later.